Okay, I'm back. I wanted to do a quick little video on the equipment I'm using since I don't think at least Mike Gross, you didn't really see what I was using, right? I did mention the issue that I thought was happening with the Fender Mustang version 2, you know, the $100 model, 75 watt at Guitar Center, which I think I complained to you about before. So let's take a look. Maybe I can take the camera off the tripod here, and you can see. So, so it's a base model Fender Mustang. Okay. There's the Shure sm-57, which I should have plugged into channel 2 of the camera, but the JVC just won't doesn't really work great with two mics. I'm sure I could mess with the switches more, but anyhow, back to the point about the Fender Mustang. When I turn on the Mustang, this is what happens. Okay. This is going to be clean but without the distortion, which is the Boss MT2. I have that in off position. So I'm just going to start it up clean. If you listen closely, there's not only a hiss. I'm expecting the hiss because I don't expect fully clean channel stuff. You know, I don't expect to hear it really in clean mode. But what I also notice is a tick-tock, okay, which almost sounds like a metronome, which I didn't buy. Here it is. Okay. You hear that? If you didn't hear that, give me 1 minute here. I'm going to hook up the Shure, and so you'll get nice, loud audio. I got to grab the mic there for a minute. If I turn it up, you can probably hear that. It almost sounds like a cricket or out in the forest somewhere, like you're camping out in the forest. You hear lots of bugs making noises. This is what it sounds like. And then when I turn on the MT2, that sound actually gets more prominent. Watch. So I don't know what that is, if that's some sort of mismatch or whatever, but I'd like some advice about how to deal with that. Maybe it has to do something with the firmware of the unit. I did download Fuse. I did that months ago when I bought this thing. And that Fuse software is pretty handy to have if you're doing like a one thing concert, you know, a one effect concert where you only need to do chorus or reverb or octave. You know, you can't really instantly switch like you can on a foot pedal like this. So, any remarks about what to do with the Fender Mustang would be nice. I'm going to press pause here and blow this video into Final Cut, and then I'll do a demonstration of what I've been learning. Some of the work that Mike Gross had done for me on a CVT lesson that we did back in November. It was my very first CVT lesson. It was Bad Boys from Whitesnake, but I wanted basically a specific version of that song, without the second walk up in the song. And you guitar players know what I mean by the second walk up. There's a little bit more than is just what's going on in her version of it. And her, she is Yagi Miyuki 1, who pretty much goes through the whole song. It sounds from me that she pretty much invented her own solo, although it is quite similar to John Sykes or Adrian Vanderberg, whoever is playing that one. So I'm just going to do for you a couple of the things that I've learned, a couple of the things that I've almost mastered, you could say. So let's see if we can turn on the amp without buzz. What that is I did that a lot on the last video. Just repeated it a lot to try to get the chord run perfect. So all it is it starts out over here, okay? So it starts out with the D5 and then E5, which is this. E5, C flat 5, which is this. The alternating 3A, 4D, 3A, 5D. And then I believe there is an F5 in there, the very last note of that walk up, which is this. 8B, 7G, which is this. So it goes from the D5 to the 7/8, which is the F, back up to what I use as the resolution, which is the E again. So D, F, E. So the whole riff is like this. As you notice, there's two slides in that riff. There's this one, which is so the first one is this one right here, if you can see that. On the 7A, slide up to the 9A, which is, excuse me, this. And then you have this slide that goes from here seven DG, okay, back to 5 DG. So that's the second slide. So that'll sound something like this. Every time I lift up that mic, I get the buzz. It's my configuration here, the way I have things wired. I got things sort of not all coiled up the way they should be. But anyhow, but you saw what I was doing there. So that's further on into the song. I'm looking here, and that isn't until. That's actually section, what was that, Mike? Section 4? Probably earlier than that, but I'll take another look. And those sections are repeated, so I'm running out of tape here, so I got to shut down. But I'll be back in a minute with another clip from more parts of the song. I got back from Shure works. I tested it over here on the rack rider, which is that middle position equalizer that you see. Not this, this right here, the rack rider equalizer. I like that thing. And there's the mic, and let me test it. See that? That is an amplified Shure sm-57 dynamic. Obviously, it's not a condenser, so it doesn't use a battery. You just plug it in, and it works. So the test passed. I now have a working sm-57.